I am curious when it comes to people that kind of seem to be self-sabotaging or picking these relationships that anyone else that's not in it can say, like, "That's clearly not a good match. That person's clearly not treating you well. That person's clearly not going to commit." Like, where is that kind of stemming from? Is it that old adage that we tend to find partners that remind us of our parent, and then we're trying to, like, heal that and fix that person, which gets back into, can we even fix people? Because I'm a hard no on that. That's my belief. I'm guessing you're probably gonna be somewhere in alignment with me on that, but why do we seek out people that we do know on some level, maybe just not consciously, are not for us?
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, I think that your feeling on whether we should expect people to change is right for the very reason that it's a bad bet. It's not that it's not that people never change. If I truly believed people never changed, what is the point in my career? but but believing that someone has shown you a consistent pattern for a long time is one day going to suddenly change is really deeply misguided, and it's extremely dangerous. You can run out the clock on your entire life waiting for that to happen. So it's just a bad bet, and it's not a
Mhm.
bet that anyone should make. The Why people tend to ignore what seems so obvious to everyone else around them, it's a really interesting question. There is undeniably an element, or a huge element, of the past in there. I like to think of it a little bit in terms of confidence, but also in terms of familiarity. I'll start with confidence. Often people will say, if you loved yourself more, you wouldn't accept that. If you really connected with your own worth and your own value, you wouldn't accept that. And there's truth to that. That's a real thing. And that's right. If someone knows that they are worthy of being treated with respect, I'm not saying someone knows they're worthy of having the best in life always. Like, I'm saying if someone knows that they're worthy of decency,
Mhm.
that they are worthy of respect, that they are worthy of kindness, and being treated in a human way, then when someone comes along and doesn't give them those things, doesn't give them what should be very fundamental things to want from somebody, and we have to decide what those fundamental things are for us, because if
Mhm.
we don't go in knowing those things, then someone else gets to make those up for us, and that's a
Right.
really dangerous thing. So we have to go into a situation. It's like a business deal. You have to go in to a business deal knowing the kind of work that you want to do, and the kind of things you don't want to do, and what you're actually driving towards. Otherwise, you're sitting across the table from someone who can kind of convince you to do anything. So you have to know that going in. And the same is true of a relationship. And then you have to have a love for yourself, which I almost think love sometimes can be a misleading word when it comes to confidence, because it's, we, I think it can seem like such a difficult thing to to love myself. But I almost prefer to start with people from a place of saying, what's think of yourself like you're just a person in the world, right? Like, if you saw someone being tortured in front of you, it would give you a reaction. You would think that was awful, and you would want to help. You would not want to see that person in pain, because you're most people are generally pretty empathetic and kind and decent, and they don't want to see that happen to somebody. Well, now imagine that you are a person, and by the way, you don't have to imagine it. You're a person in the world. And if you can start by just saying, I'm a person like anyone else, the one big difference is that I have the job of looking after this person. That's my biggest job that I have, is I've been given custody of this one human being from the day I was born, and my job has been to take care of that person. if you frame it like that, you don't think of it so much. You don't have to think of it in terms of really loving yourself, because sometimes we're doing things that we don't like, and we're behaving in ways we don't like, or we're doing things in life that don't make us proud. And that makes it hard. We find it hard to love ourselves when we're not making ourselves proud. But you can not be proud of yourself right now and still see yourself as a person whose your job is to take care of that person. You have to love yourself like it's your job, because it is your job. So that's one part of the equation. But I don't think just framing it in terms of confidence is complete. I think you also have to look at it in terms of familiarity. What are you used to? Many of us have only seen a certain thing in our lives growing up, and that has become our model for the world.